Welcome back to the channel Valuable Coins HD, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into the world of one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny. You might have come across this penny in your spare change or found one stashed away in an old coin jar, but little did you know that this seemingly ordinary coin could hold extraordinary value. So, buckle up and stay tuned until the end, because by the time you're finished watching, you'll know just how much this 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny could be worth. First, let's rewind a bit. The Lincoln Wheat Penny has been part of American currency since 1909, when it was first minted to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Over the years, the design of this penny has become synonymous with American history and has sparked the interest of countless collectors around the world. But out of all the pennies, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds a special place, and today, we're going to explore why. You see, the 1950 penny may seem like a regular piece of copper to most, but it's not just about the year it was minted. For collectors, it's about the rarity, the condition, and the history behind the coin that truly makes it valuable. During the 1950s, the U.S. was in the midst of the post-World War II economic boom, and as a result, many of these pennies were circulated heavily in daily transactions. Over time, these coins became worn down, tarnished, and eventually forgotten. However, if you are lucky enough to stumble upon a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny in near-perfect condition, you could be holding something incredibly valuable. Coins that are well preserved or have been kept in excellent condition for decades tend to fetch much higher prices in the market. This is where the value begins to climb for the 1950 penny. Its rarity and pristine condition makes it highly sought after by collectors. So, what is it about the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny that really gets coin collectors excited? Well, one thing to consider is the minting errors that can increase a coin's worth. Sometimes during the minting process, errors happen, whether it's a double die, a misaligned strike, or any other kind of flaw. These minting errors turn an ordinary coin into something unique and extremely valuable. For the 1950 penny, some collectors have found rare examples of double die obverse coins, where the image on the front of the coin is doubled. If you happen to find one of these rare double die 1950 pennies, you could be holding a highly coveted item. Another factor that contributes to the value of the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny is its metal composition. Like many pennies from this era, the 1950 penny was made from 95% copper, which gives it a distinctive color and feel. The coin features Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse, while the reverse shows two stalks of wheat, a symbol of abundance and growth. Over time, the copper in these coins can oxidize, and some coins that have been kept in exceptionally good condition have preserved their original color and shine, adding to their appeal. In the world of coin collecting, grading is everything. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen. A 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny in MS 65 or higher could significantly increase in value. If your coin shows minimal signs of wear, retains its original shine, and has no obvious blemishes, it's a good candidate for professional grading. A well-graded coin can make a huge difference in how much money you can get for it. Now, let's talk about the market for these coins. The world of coin collecting is vast, and many collectors are on the lookout for coins that hold historical significance, such as the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Whether it's for investment purposes, a passion for numismatics, or simply a desire to own a rare piece of American history, people are willing to pay big bucks for coins like the 1950 penny. This is especially true for those that are in mint condition or have a rare error that makes them stand out from the rest. But let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. Just how much is a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny worth? Well, if you happen to have one of these pennies that's in excellent condition or contains a rare minting error, you could potentially sell it for an impressive amount of money. In fact, a well-preserved 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the right features could be worth $66,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $66,000 for a single penny. This incredible value makes the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny one of the most coveted coins in the world of numismatics. So, before you toss that old coin into a jar or forget about it in a drawer, take a moment to inspect it. If you find that it's in excellent condition or shows signs of a rare minting error, you could have a real treasure on your hands. In conclusion, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny might seem like just another penny from the past, but in the right condition, it holds the potential to be worth a small fortune. With its historical significance, potential minting errors, and the sheer rarity of finding one in mint condition, this penny is more than just a piece of copper. It's a rare collector's item that could fetch an incredible price. If you're lucky enough to have one of these pennies, make sure to get it professionally graded and take advantage of the growing demand for rare and valuable coins. And remember, you could be holding a coin worth as much as $66,000. Today, we're about to unlock the mystery behind one of the most iconic and sought-after coins in the world of numismatics, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you've ever stumbled upon one of these pennies and thought, "It's just a penny," think again. This small piece of copper could hold the key to unlocking a hidden fortune. Stick with me to the end, and you'll discover how much this 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny could be worth. Now, let's rewind a bit. The Lincoln Wheat Penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, created to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It's a coin with deep historical significance, and the design itself reflects the times, featuring Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, with the familiar wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing the country's agrarian roots. Over the years, millions of these coins were minted, but as time passed, some became rare and highly sought after by collectors, and the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is no exception. What sets the 1957 penny apart from others? To understand its value, we need to look at a few important factors: rarity, condition, and minting errors. While the 1957 penny may seem like a regular coin, finding one in mint condition or with unique minting errors can drastically increase its value. Let's start with rarity. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny was one of the last coins of its kind, as it marked the end of the Wheat Penny series, which was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Penny. This makes the 1957 penny a bit of a transitional coin, which only adds to its intrigue for collectors. Over the years, many of these pennies were circulated, worn down, and lost to time. So, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a rarity. This is where the magic happens. Imagine this: you find a 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny that looks as though it just came off the minting press, still gleaming with its original shine. Coins like this are incredibly rare because most of these pennies saw decades of circulation. To find one in unblemished condition is like striking gold. If you're lucky enough to have one of these, you might just be holding a true treasure. But that's not all. The real excitement starts when you add in the potential for minting errors. In the world of coin collecting, minting errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin. For example, a double die error, where the design is struck twice on the coin, creating a doubled image, is highly sought after by collectors. If you happen to find a 1957 penny with a double die obverse, where the image of Lincoln appears doubled, you could have a coin that is not only rare but also highly valuable. Other errors, such as misaligned strikes or off-center coins, can also increase a penny's worth significantly. So, how do you know if your 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is worth something extraordinary? First, check the condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1957 penny that is graded as MS 65 or higher is in excellent condition and could easily fetch a premium price. Look for coins that are well preserved with little to no signs of wear, retaining their sharp details and original shine. If you think your coin might be in exceptional condition, it's worth sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for an official evaluation. Now, let's talk about the market for these coins. Coin collecting is a booming hobby, and rare coins are in demand more than ever. But the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just valuable because of its age, it's also highly prized for its historical significance. As the last year of the Wheat Penny series, it has become an iconic piece for both novice and seasoned collectors. Many collectors are on the lookout for this particular penny in pristine condition, and when one is found, the demand is high. But the most exciting part: the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, when in near-perfect condition or with a rare minting error, can fetch a jaw-dropping price. If you happen to own one of these coins, you could be sitting on a treasure worth $60,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $60,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that a 1957 penny could be worth so much, but that's the beauty of rare coin collecting. It's not about the size or face value of the coin, it's about its rarity, condition, and historical importance. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny might seem like just another penny, but in the right condition, or with the right minting error, it can become an incredibly valuable asset. Whether you found one in your coin jar, or you've inherited a collection, it's worth taking a closer look to see if you might be holding a true treasure. In conclusion, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny is a coin that every serious collector should keep an eye out for. Whether it's the rarity of the coin itself, its potential for minting errors, or simply its significance in American history, this penny is more than just pocket change, it's a valuable piece of Americana. If you have one of these coins, or if you come across one, remember that it could be worth a staggering $60,000. Today, we're diving into a coin that may just be sitting in your collection or hidden away in a drawer somewhere, the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny. This seemingly simple piece of copper might look like just another penny, but let me tell you, it could be worth much more than you think. If you've ever wondered how much a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny could be worth, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at what it could bring in. The Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history, and the 1952 version is no exception. Minted during a time of post-war prosperity in the United States, this penny has seen decades of circulation and countless hands. But the real question is, how many of them have survived in excellent condition? This is where things get exciting. Now, to understand why the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny can hold such high value, we need to take a closer look at a few important factors: rarity, condition, and minting errors. Let's break this down, starting with rarity. The 1952 penny was part of a much larger mintage, so while it's not the rarest penny out there, the rarity comes in when you find one that's in outstanding condition. If you've ever looked through a jar of old pennies, you know that most coins from the 1950s have experienced heavy circulation. After all, these were the days when coins passed through many hands, from pocket to cash register, over decades. Most of the pennies that were in circulation have been worn down with scratches, discoloration, and dents. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny that still retains its crisp features, you've got something special on your hands. What makes a 1952 penny truly valuable is its condition. For collectors, it's all about how well preserved the coin is. When it comes to grading coins, the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins are graded on a scale of 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1952 Lincoln wheat penny that comes in at MS 65 or higher, meaning it's almost flawless, could sell for much more than its face value. Coins like this are often sought after by serious collectors, and as the condition improves, so does the price. But wait, it doesn't end there. Another factor that can send the value of your 1952 Lincoln wheat penny through the roof is a minting error. These rare mistakes happen during the manufacturing process, and they can make a coin much more valuable. One of the most exciting errors to look for in a 1952 penny is the double die error, which occurs when the coin's design is struck multiple times, creating a doubled image. If you happen to find a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny with a double die on the obverse, the front of the coin, you could be holding a rare gem worth a lot more than you ever imagined. Minting errors aren't the only thing collectors look for, though. The metal composition of the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny is also something to keep in mind. The coin was made from 95% copper, which means it has a distinct reddish-brown color. Over time, some of these pennies have developed a patina, but others have stayed remarkably well preserved, which is highly desirable. When you find one of these coins in mint condition, you can be sure that it's a hot commodity on the market. So, now we come to the fun part: how much is your 1952 Lincoln wheat penny worth? Well, if you've got one in excellent condition or one with a rare minting error, you might just be in for a real treat. The truth is, the value of these coins can vary quite a bit depending on their condition and any special features they might have. But in general, a 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny in mint condition, or one with a rare minting error, can be worth $69,000. That's right, $69,000 for a single penny. If you've got a 1952 penny that's in pristine condition or has a unique feature, you could be sitting on a fortune. It's amazing to think that something so small and seemingly insignificant could carry such incredible value, but even if you don't find one with a minting error or in perfect condition, don't be discouraged. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny is still a great coin to own, and over time, as more of these coins get lost or damaged, the value of the well-preserved ones will only continue to rise. So, if you have a 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny, take a moment to check it over. Look for any signs of wear, and most importantly, see if there are any special features that might make it stand out. If you find something unique, make sure to get it graded by a professional to determine its true value. In conclusion, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny might seem like just another coin from the past, but in the right condition or with the right minting error, it can be worth an absolute fortune. Whether it's the rarity, the condition, or the possibility of a minting error, this penny has the potential to be a collector's dream. If you happen to own one of these rare pennies, you could be holding something worth $69,000. Today, we're about to dive into the fascinating world of one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, but trust me, this small piece of copper could be worth a lot more than you'd expect. If you've ever wondered whether that 1951 penny sitting in your collection or hidden in your coin jar is worth anything, you're in for a big surprise. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll be amazed by what this coin could be worth. The Lincoln Wheat penny has been a staple of American currency since it was first minted in 1909. Designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner, the coin was meant to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Featuring a profile of Lincoln on the front, the reverse showcases two stalks of wheat, symbolizing America's agricultural roots. Over the years, millions of these pennies were minted, but some stand out because of their rarity, condition, and unique characteristics. Now, let's zoom in on the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny. This particular year might not seem as rare at first glance, but when you take a deeper look, you'll realize that it has some important features that make it especially valuable. The first thing you'll want to keep in mind is that 1951 was a time of major change in the United States, both economically and socially. After World War II, the U.S. entered a period of prosperity, and coins from this era are often sought after for their historical significance. While the 1951 penny was minted in large quantities, it's actually not as common to find these coins in excellent condition. The Wheat penny series was widely circulated for decades, and many of them became worn down through regular use. Over time, the 1951 penny that may have been in someone's pocket, spent countless years going through cash registers, or exchanged hands in stores, might have lost some of its original luster. So, when it comes to finding one in mint condition, this is where the real value lies. The condition of a coin is one of the most important factors in determining its worth. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny that's graded MS 65 or higher is considered to be in excellent condition, meaning it retains much of its original shine and sharp details. A penny in this kind of shape is incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. So if you happen to come across a 1951 penny in pristine condition, you could be looking at a valuable collector's item. But what if your 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just a well-preserved coin? What if it's a rare mint error? In the world of coin collecting, mint errors can make a coin worth much more than its face value. Imagine finding a 1951 penny that has a double die. This occurs when the design of the coin is struck twice, creating a doubled image. The double die error is one of the most prized mistakes among collectors. If you find a 1951 penny with this kind of error, you could be holding onto a rare gem that's worth a small fortune. Aside from double die errors, other types of minting mistakes can also increase the value of your 1951 penny. These can include misaligned strikes, off-center coins, or die cracks, where the metal has started to wear down on the dies used to strike the coins. While these errors may seem minor at first glance, they're highly collectible and can drive up the value of the coin dramatically. Now, let's talk about one of the most important factors: rarity. While the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted in large numbers, the number of coins that have survived in excellent condition is much lower. Over the years, many of these pennies have been lost, damaged, or simply worn down by everyday use. This means that well-preserved examples of the 1951 penny are rare, and as time goes on, their value continues to increase. So, finding a 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny that's in near-perfect condition is a big win for any collector. So, how much could your 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny actually be worth? Well, it all depends on the coin's condition and any unique features it might have. If you find one in near-perfect condition, or if it has a rare mint error, it could fetch a significant amount of money in the market. Coins like these are highly sought after by collectors, and the demand for them continues to rise. Now, get ready for the big reveal. If you've got a 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny in excellent condition, or perhaps one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth $70,000. Yes, you heard that right, $70,000 for a single penny. It might sound unbelievable, but that's the magic of rare coins. It's not about the size or face value of the coin, but the rarity, the condition, and the uniqueness that makes it so valuable. Whether you have a 1951 penny in your collection or happen to come across one at a yard sale, it's definitely worth checking the condition and looking for any special features that could make it worth a fortune. In conclusion, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can carry incredible value. Whether it's the coin's historical significance, its rarity, or the potential for minting errors, this penny is more than just pocket change, it's a piece of American history. So, the next time you're sifting through old coins or going through your collection, keep your eyes peeled for the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny. It could be worth $70,000. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies in U.S. history, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. How could it possibly be worth anything significant? Well, think again. If you have a 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny lying around in your collection or tucked away in a drawer, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Stick around to the end, and I'll reveal just how much this humble penny could be worth today. The Lincoln Wheat penny is one of the most beloved and iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1909, it marked the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin features a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing America's agricultural foundation. While these pennies were in circulation for many decades, some years are more valuable than others due to factors like minting errors, rarity, and condition. Now, let's zoom in on the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny. The 1953 penny was minted during a time of relative prosperity in the United States, following the end of World War II. The economy was booming, and people were feeling more confident in their financial future. This coin, along with other pennies from the era, was widely circulated and used in everyday transactions. So, why would a 1953 penny be considered so valuable today? First and foremost, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny was produced in large quantities. Over 1 billion coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco that year. However, many of these coins were circulated and spent, meaning they were exposed to wear and tear. Coins that were heavily circulated over the years often lost much of their original luster, making them less valuable to collectors. But, here's the kicker: coins that have been kept in excellent condition, often referred to as uncirculated or mint state, can be incredibly valuable. Uncirculated coins, meaning those that have never been used in transactions, retain much of their original detail and shine. If you happen to have a 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny in mint condition, it could be worth much more than its face value. The 1953 penny also has something called rarity, which contributes to its value. While this coin was mass-produced, finding one in near-perfect condition is becoming increasingly difficult as time goes on. Many of these pennies have either been lost, damaged, or simply deteriorated over time, making well-preserved examples hard to come by. This rarity is what drives demand among collectors, and in turn, increases the value of the coin. Another factor that can make a 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny more valuable is the potential for minting errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production of the coin. These errors can range from misaligned strikes to double strikes, where the coin is struck more than once, creating a unique design. Sometimes, the coins even come out with defects like off-center designs or missing elements. These types of error coins are highly sought after by collectors because they are one of a kind, and they can fetch much higher prices than standard, non-error coins. For example, if your 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny has a double die error, it could make the coin worth a fortune. Double die errors happen when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned, resulting in a doubled image on the coin. These types of errors are rare, and collectors go wild for them because they are unique and hard to find. Other types of errors, like off-center strikes or repunched mint marks, can also increase the value of your 1953 penny significantly. Now, let's talk about how much this 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny could actually be worth. If you find one in mint condition, it could be worth a few dollars, depending on the demand at the time. However, if you happen to have a 1953 penny with a rare mint error, or if it's in perfect uncirculated condition, the value could skyrocket. The real shocker comes when we consider how much the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny could fetch at an auction or from collectors. Ready for the big reveal? If you've got a 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if it has a mint error that makes it unique, it could be worth a whopping $67,000. Yes, you heard that right, $67,000 for a single penny. It may sound hard to believe, but this is the kind of treasure hidden in plain sight. Whether you have a 1953 penny in your coin jar or you come across one in your search for rare coins, it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see if it could be worth thousands of dollars. To sum it up, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny is much more than just a coin from the past. It's a potential treasure trove just waiting to be discovered. The rarity of well-preserved specimens, the possibility of minting errors, and the historical significance of the coin all contribute to its value. So, if you've got a 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny in your collection, it might just be time to check it out, because you could be holding onto a coin worth $67,000. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic pennies in U.S. history, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny. If you've ever wondered whether that old jar of change could contain something valuable, this is the video for you. Stick around, because we're about to explore why the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny is worth way more than just 1 cent. The Lincoln Wheat penny has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1909, celebrating the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, millions of these pennies have been minted and circulated, but not all of them hold the same value. In fact, some are considered rare treasures, while others are seen as just another common penny. So, what makes the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny stand out? First, let's take a look at the history. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny marks the final year of the wheat design, which was used on U.S. pennies from 1909 until 1958. In 1959, the design was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, making the 1958 penny the last of its kind. This alone gives the coin some historical significance, but there's more to the story. In 1958, the U.S. economy was booming, and this coin was minted in large numbers, with over 1 billion coins being produced across the 3 major minting facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While this may sound like a lot, finding a 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition is actually quite rare, and it's the key to its potential value today. As with all coins, the value of a 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny is primarily determined by its condition. Coins that have been circulating for years tend to show signs of wear, which lowers their value. However, coins that have been carefully preserved or stored away in collections can be worth far more, especially if they are free from any visible damage, discoloration, or scratches. A 1958 penny in mint condition can command much higher prices among collectors. Now, let's talk about why this specific year is so valuable. As we mentioned, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny marks the last year of the iconic wheat reverse design. Because it's the end of an era, it holds a unique place in American coinage history. But what really makes this penny exciting for collectors are the varieties and errors that may be found. Some of the most valuable 1958 pennies have what's known as die varieties. These are differences in the design that can occur when the die used to stamp the coin wears out or becomes misaligned during production. A subtle difference in the design can make a huge difference in value, as collectors love to find coins with these unique characteristics. One of the most well-known varieties of the 1958 penny is the 1958 D over D. This is a coin with a double mint mark, where the D mint mark is stamped twice, creating an overlap effect. It's a rare and sought-after error that can drive up the coin's value significantly. Coins like these are highly prized because they are unique, and only a few specimens exist in good condition. If you happen to have one of these rare varieties in your collection, you could be in for a big surprise. Another factor that boosts the value of the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny is its rarity. As we mentioned earlier, millions of these coins were produced, but over time, most of them have either been worn down or damaged through circulation. To find a 1958 penny that is in near-perfect or uncirculated condition is extremely rare. And when it comes to rare coins, condition is everything. The better the condition, the higher the value. Now, let's get to the exciting part. Just how much could your 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth? If you have a 1958 penny that's in unusual mint condition, or perhaps even one with a minting error, your coin could fetch a pretty penny on the market. But the real shocker comes when you realize that a single 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny, in outstanding condition, can be worth as much as $62,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $62,000 for a single 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny. That's the kind of money you could make by simply holding onto a rare coin that's been hiding in your collection. It's mind-blowing to think that something as simple as a penny could have such an incredible value. In conclusion, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a piece of currency, it's a part of U.S. history, a rare find, and potentially a very valuable treasure. If you have one of these coins, especially if it's in great condition or has a minting error, you might just be holding on to something worth a small fortune. So, next time you're digging through your coins, make sure to give that 1958 penny a second look. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, in this video, we're going to explore a coin that might just be hiding in your collection, a coin that could be worth far more than its face value. We're talking about the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny, an iconic piece of American history that could potentially fetch you a small fortune. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive in. Now, the Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. It first appeared in 1909, honoring the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. For almost 50 years, the penny featured a reverse side with two stalks of wheat, which is why it's commonly referred to as the wheat penny. While the design was phased out in 1958 in favor of the Lincoln Memorial design, the Lincoln Wheat Penny is still a beloved coin among collectors to this day. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of those fascinating examples of a coin that might be worth much more than you think. While millions of these pennies were minted that year, some rare factors have made certain 1950 pennies incredibly valuable in today's market. So, why is the 1950 penny so special? And how can you tell if you have a valuable one? First off, let's talk about its historical significance. The year 1950 was an important one for the U.S., coming after the economic boom of the post-World War II era. The U.S. economy was in full swing, and this penny was a regular fixture in daily transactions. However, as time went on, most of the 1950 Lincoln Wheat pennies became worn out and were eventually retired from circulation. Today, finding one in excellent condition is quite rare. Condition, as always, plays a huge role in determining the value of a coin. The 1950 penny is no exception. While you might have a stack of 1950 pennies lying around, many of them are probably well worn, heavily circulated, or just showing signs of age. But for collectors, the real treasure lies in those few 1950 pennies that have been preserved in mint condition. Uncirculated or mint state coins are in pristine condition, and these coins can be worth a lot more than their face value. So, how do you know if your 1950 penny is one of those rare, well-preserved examples? The best way to assess the condition of your coin is by looking closely at the details. If the coin still shows sharp, crisp features, like clear lines on Lincoln's hair and precise details on the wheat stalks, you might be holding onto something special. Any signs of wear, like flat spots, discoloration, or scratches, could lower the coin's value. However, if your 1950 penny is in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, you've got something worth serious consideration. Another aspect that can increase the value of the 1950 penny is the possibility of mint errors. Over the years, certain Lincoln wheat pennies were struck with imperfections due to issues with the minting process. These errors can range from double die strikes, where part of the design is doubled, to off-center strikes or repunched mint marks. If your 1950 penny has one of these minting errors, it could make your coin significantly more valuable. One of the more famous mint errors in the 1950 penny series is the 1950 D/S over mint mark error. This error happens when a 1950 penny was minted in Denver, but it has an S mint mark from San Francisco underneath the D. This overlapping mint mark error is quite rare and sought after by collectors, which makes it worth a lot more than a standard 1950 D penny. Now, let's get to the really exciting part. You've probably been wondering just how much a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny could be worth. Well, the value can vary depending on its condition, rarity, and whether it has any minting errors. In general, a 1950 penny in average condition might only be worth a few cents, while those in excellent, uncirculated condition can fetch a few dollars. But here's the big news: if your 1950 penny is in pristine condition or features a rare mint error, the value can skyrocket. The real showstopper here is that a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, particularly in uncirculated condition or with a rare mint error, could be worth as much as $74,000. Yes, you heard that right, $74,000 for a single 1950 penny. It's absolutely mind-blowing. When you think about it, you could be holding onto a rare coin that could change your financial future. So, next time you're sifting through your collection or going through a jar of loose change, don't just pass over that 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. It might be worth way more than you imagined. To wrap things up, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny is an amazing example of how something as simple as a penny can hold significant value. Whether it's the historical importance, the potential for minting errors, or just the fact that it's in rare, uncirculated condition, this coin is definitely one that's worth keeping an eye on. And who knows? Your 1950 Lincoln wheat penny could be the next big discovery. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed learning about the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny and want to see more rare coin discoveries, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a coin hunt. Happy collecting, and remember, there's always treasure to be found, even in the smallest of coins.